Thank you all for joining. Today, I have the pleasure in welcoming Rajesh Pillai ji. He is a senior journalist who has worked with the government of India from 1987 to 2000. He was assistant vice president with AsiaNet satellite communications from 2000 to 2012, and then also was a founder, CEO, and chief editor of Janam TV. And he's now currently with Tatvamayi TV. He has launched the network, which is now one of the fastest growing nationalist web platform in Malayalam. And there is much more to him. So I'd like to welcome Rajesh Pillai ji. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Namaste. Namaste. Namaste to all.
Rajesh ji, I don't want to beat around the bush. I'll directly jump into what's happening in Kerala. We are quite curious about this. So everybody knows about the whole Nupur Sharma issue that has been happening. But what's less seen, I believe, is what is the aftermath in Kerala, if there was an aftermath, and how is it going there?
Like any other controversy concerning Islam and that kind of subjects, the response was just predictable. There were a lot of rallies taken out in many towns and cities with anti-Hindu slogans, not anti-RSS or anti-Nupur Sharma or anti-BJP. It was blatantly, anti-Hindu slogans. PFI organized many rallies. Even today is Eid, so they have that public this thing after namaz and all. I was hearing at least four imams, including one in Thiruvananthapuram, that is the capital city. He was openly saying that people like Nupur Sharma are being protected by BJP, not only BJP, by even the judiciary. That was the one person, he was talking like that. So it was predictable, and there was a lot of anger, there was a lot of anguish, and as predictable, I would say, the leftist, the so-called liberals and all, they were all fuming. So it was basically on a predictable line only. What else?
Yeah, that's quite understandable, I would say. And then, but then, is there a reason why we don't hear about this so much in the mainstream? Because we heard about the other riots or rallies taken out in different other cities, but hardly so from Kerala. Is the understanding first, right, that this is hardly spoken about, and if not, if you can explain.
It is because basically, the Delhi-based channels, they always concentrate on North India, not South India. Beyond India's, it's the attention is very less. That has been the norm. And the second thing is that except for one or two nationalist channels, media platforms like us, no one else made an issue of this. So naturally, there is AsiaNet. There are channels like mainstream channels, you can say, important channels. They will never report such a thing. So naturally, the national attention also will be less. So that could be one reason. And the second reason, yes, this is expected. This will happen in Kerala. I mean, the people, the imams who were talking today after the public namaz, they are not politicians. They are not PFI activists. They are just imams. They are accepted all over the, across the communities. So they were saying, people like Pravajaka Ninna, they say, the blasphemy. So they were saying that openly. They were saying that the judiciary is also supporting people like Nupur Sharma. I wonder if it was in another part of India, it would have been a big controversy, but it's not so in Kerala.
Right. Yeah, speaking of controversies and rallies, there was this huge rally that took place in Alleppey by PFI few months back, and which created a huge furore. because what was said by a very small kid, it almost shook everyone. I'd like to know what is the status now. Has there been any action taken against the family or the parents? Where does it stand?
Actually, it happened in May, on May 21st in Alleppey. The rally was organized by Popular Front. People from other districts had also come. I hope everyone knows about the issue. That's why I'm just giving an outline. So, Popular Front rally was taken out. And Priyaji, you should also note that Alleppey is the same place where few months back in December, a BJP Karyakarta is a state level leader, Advocate Ranjit Srinivasan was hacked to death. He was killed. He was just going out for morning walk. Some people came. Within a minute, one person was killed and they simply vanished. So it is the same place. Incidentally, I knew Ranjit Srinivasan. I have met him on more than one occasion. He was here in Thiruvananthapuram some 6 months back also for some party program. So this person was killed. He was a very innocent and very charming guy. And at the same place, a rally was given sanction by the police for PFI, for an organization accused of killing this person. They were allowed to take out a rally. So I'm just trying to tell you, this is the kind of situation and kind of support that they get from the establishment. So they are not worried about, or they are not afraid about the law or anything like that. That's why this rally was taken out in the first place. And the slogans, this is just one slogan. There were so many other slogans. Even on Nupur Sharma issue, I was just mentioning that. So this is just one slogan. And naturally, there was a hue and cry. People like us are here. We made it an issue. It was made into a big issue. It was made into a national debate. So, I mean, we try to at least, create this hype so that somebody takes action. So anyway, these people were arrested. Some 31 people were arrested, but 3-4 days back, after 41 days, they got out. They are out on bail now. And there was a big reception for all these people in front of the jail. And now they are out. The case will now, nothing is going to happen much. It will drag for years and people will forget, and maybe some punishment may come, but it will take time. It all depends on the prosecution, and the prosecution always has way to really weaken the case. So that happens every time. So we know what will happen. So this is a current situation. But Priyaji, one thing I just want to mention, this Alleppey slogan shouting or Imam talking about Nupur Sharma or Gubish, that's not the real issue. That's basically the symptom only. The core issue is never discussed. There are many other symptoms, this PFI last year, when the schools were open after COVID in Pathanamthitta district, they had stuck this "I am Babri." There was a sticker made out, printed, and each and every child, even children with tilak and all, they stopped them and put this sticker on their chest, saying "I am Babri." Again, we had to create a big issue out of this, and some people were arrested. They are already out on bail. So this is just one issue, this Alappuzha slogan shouting and other things. So, and they have been killing, there are political killings which are never focus of attention. Yes, when somebody is killed, it will be in news for 3-4 days. After that, everyone forgets that. So these are just symptoms. The core issue lies, elsewhere.
Right. So I understand that, having coming from Kerala and also being there working on the ground, this is something you say that this is just a symptom and what you've seen is almost nothing. So to have a better understanding, could you give us a more in-depth into the history of PFI? How did they come about and how they are, at this place, how they've managed to do this so far?
Yeah, PFI, I would say that Popular Front of India is not the last in the list. So there are going to be more organizations because let me tell you, from early 80s, there was always a minority among the Muslim community who were fundamentalist, extremist by nature. Even in early 70s, there have been reports of, Pakistan Zindabad slogan shouting after every cricket match and all. But those were never organized, or they were actually spontaneous outbursts. But there was a minority always in support of extremism, Muslim fundamentalism and all. But after 70s, in between 70s and 80s, things changed. These people started going to the Gulf countries. They got better job opportunities. Their economic situation improved, and their interaction with the Middle East also created sort of, okay, that Muslim identity became very stronger, maybe more than the Indian identity. So that is the background. Then in the 80s, Madani happened. Madani, Abdul Nasser Madani. He is in jail. He is in jail for that Coimbatore serial blast. He was also accused in an attempt to kill L.K. Advani, and another bomb blast or something like that. He is in jail now. Madani created a lot of fuss in the state. He inspired youngsters to come out of their house, go and question Hindus, kill them, attack the temples, and he made very derogatory remarks about what we worship, our idols, our people like Sri Rama, our Sri Krishna, and he used to make very derogatory remarks about it, and he was well received in the state. To tell you, the political system gave him full support because he had the commanding power over Muslim masses, especially youngsters, and that vote bank, Muslim vote bank, consolidated with Madani, I would say, with Madani. But then after 2 years, his organization was called Islamic Sevak Sangh. Then later they became a political party, but it withered away after a few years because there were a lot of allegations and other things. But these people, the section of people who were inspired by him, they remained organized. They went to another organization. Then they went to another organization. There was NDF was there. At last, let me tell you, in the end, it was NDF, National Democratic Front, which was very organized organization. In between, there were many other organizations, SIMI and all. SIMI was there. So in 2006, this PFI was established. Elements from already banned SIMI came. Old associates of Madani came, and naturally NDF was also there. But I would say that unlike SIMI, unlike NDF, unlike Islamic Sevak Sangh of Madani, PFI is much, much more dangerous than any of these people because they are very well organized, organized to the core, organized to take on and carry out their mission. You won't believe, they say that we are organizing our own people like the RSS, but it is not simply RSS alone. They are infiltrating other organizations. They are making their bases all over Kerala. Let me tell you, in the last 10 years, any small issue, local issue, PFI people will interfere in that. Let it be lack of drinking water, let it be an environmental issue, let it be any other thing, local issue. These people will be at the forefront of the issue. There was a nurses tour in hospitals. Nurses, Kerala nurses, they have a federation. That federation was also hijacked by a PFI person. So basically, they are trying to get inroads into the society, to the every strata of the society using all these public issues. That is one thing. Second is radicalizing the Muslim youth. They are doing a wonderful job for them because even in medical colleges, other professional colleges, uh, any Muslim student, I would say 70-80% of Muslim students are radicalized. And 92, this Ayodhya incident also, there was a backlash. So even today they show Ayodhya documentary in their study classes. Not only Ayodhya, now there are more subjects to be added, but they put it in their own perspective. What I'm saying is that they are doing a very professional job. It is not unlike Simi or unlike Madani, when there was slogan shouting and when there were derogatory remarks. Not even a single PFI leader will say things like that now from a public platform. He knows what to say where, and he knows how to do it. So that's why I'm saying it's a very dangerous organization. And another thing which I want to add is that they are getting financial support from outside. You won't believe, people may think that it's from Middle East. No, it is not from Middle East. Middle East, naturally they will get money because many people are there. Countries like Turkey also are helping. We have proof of negotiations between PFI. I think our intelligence agencies also have. Some PFI leaders have visited Turkey, Istanbul, and had discussions with them. And what they say is that we are going to make India a Muslim country by 2047. And we are going to rule Kerala by 2027. That is what they, their claim. But they may not rule. It won't be that easy, but it's a formidable force which is coming up. So, and they have hit squads also. You won't believe this Palakkad Srinivasan, he was an RSS Pracharak. He was killed in broad daylight, and Palakkad is supposedly a BJP stronghold. And that place, they went inside, and the killers came out within 20 seconds. They took just 20 seconds to kill a person, and they came out. CCTV footages are there. So they are well trained. It is not that, it's not another political killing. And since you asked about PFI, let me also say, this is one organization which has infiltrated many organizations, including the communist people. They have infiltrated Indian Union Muslim League, which is another political party. They have infiltrated CPM, CPI, and many other organizations. Even I doubt whether some people are in BJP also. I won't be surprised because that is their strategy. They want to infiltrate every organization. So it's a very, very planned move. It's a very dangerous organization.
Right. Yeah. What you say is actually quite interesting. I do have a number of questions from these, but first is, there was a talk about banning PFI. So from the history of PFI, we see that how Simi was banned, and then now they kind of congregated in a different way. And let's say maybe they're doing even better than Simi did, having infiltrated everywhere. So how do you think now again banning PFI would help?
See, banning an organization will not help. That is my feeling. But PFI should be banned as early as possible. That is another thing. Because let me tell you, in Kerala, I mean, anywhere in the world, when what happens to when Muslims as a community, they interact with the other communities. When they are in a multi-racial society, how they do. When they are a minority in the real sense, they always try to play the victim card. They are unhappy. They always complain. They say that we are being neglected. We are second-class citizens. Then after some time, you grow in numbers, you become politically active, you become economically more powerful, but you are still a minority, but you start demanding things. You try to, create your hold everywhere. So that is the second stage. And the third stage, is total domination once you are in majority. So I think Kerala is going through the second stage, where Muslims are still a minority, technically, but socially, economically, politically, they are the majority people. Let me tell you, they are just like any other majority people, because they are socially well organized, they are politically very organized and active, and economically they are much better than Hindus anyway. Some Christians with Middle East backing will have, naturally, they must be in that level, but Muslims as a whole, they are economically, they are much forward than us. That's why people say there is land jihad here. Land jihad, try to get maximum land jihad. So things like that. So that way, Muslims are not a minority in Kerala. So it is in this community that PFI is trying to get acceptance. And unfortunately, that's happening. If you feel that the Muslim masses or the majority among the Muslims may not like or may not support PFI, that's a wrong notion. I would only, because the recent incidents, you take any incident, there are people who have supported PFI openly, but otherwise, the Muslim mass is just silent. Even when that Udaipur killing happened, not even a single soul came out from the Muslim community came out and said, no, this is not Islam. You should not do it. Had a Muslim being killed, all these people would have come out and paraded with protest march and all. So PFI is a cancer in the Muslim community and for the country. So it should be banned. That is one thing. But will a ban on an organization really end the problem? No, definitely no. Because then SIMI was banned. What happened? The PFI leaders like Abu Bakr, P. Koya, he is a professor, P. Koya. All these people are products of SIMI. And as I said, these people have infiltrated into other organizations also. One Jalil, KT Jalil, who was minister in the last ministry of Pinarayi Vijayan, he was a SIMI leader. From SIMI, he went to Indian Union Muslim League. Now he is with the left part, with the CPM. And he is well accepted. He is one of the closest chamcha of chief minister, even though he is not a minister now. He's a closer. So SIMI was banned. It's a banned organization. But these people are very well active. The only thing, the best part will be that, okay, if you ban an organization, at least the economic backing will stop for a time being, for some time. But they will again try to get funds and so on. So banning is a 50-50 thing, but it should be banned because the organization has grown too much and it's becoming a big danger for the society. Not only in Kerala, let me tell you that. Even in North India, PFI is growing at a rapid level. And somebody was asking the Indian Union Muslim League leader here the other day. One journalist was asking, see, PFI is gaining ground in North India, but why Muslim League is not there? So he was telling, for us, the name Muslim League creates a problem, but PFI doesn't have that issue. So they are growing. So everyone admits that. So it's a cancer and it should be banned at the earliest possible.
Right. Another thing, what you also mentioned was PFI's presence, even at a very, very small issue in, given at any given place. This is something I've also heard on another podcast. What they tell about the communists, that at ward level they are present, and then even if it's a family issue, they somehow push themselves in, and then so they are present everywhere, and then they give information back. This is something whatever. So I see some similarities here. How is that uh, communists are able to go hand in hand with these people and also portray as, we are also for the Hindus, and also portray as, no, we are also for the Christians? How do you think they managed to do this?
Yeah, it's a very important question, but a very complicated one too. Do you know which is the largest Hindu organization in Kerala?
I want to guess as the Communist Party.
Yes, it's a CPM. It's a CPM. CPM is the largest Hindu organization, but just because they know that they are the largest Hindu organization, they want to deny that Hindu identity at every point of time. They just want to, they will allow everyone else to practice their religion within the party. A Muslim can be a good Muslim and still be CPM member. A Christian can be, it has happened. Christians can be a practicing Christian. But if a CPM leader or anyone goes to Shabarimala, then he will face action. A notice was served to a CPM office bearer for having this Ganapati Puja, Ganesh Puja at home in the morning. He had a Ganapati Homam, we call it. Early morning it is done. So he was served a notice by the party. So that is one thing about the Communist Party. Now, why they are hand in hand with the jihadis? It's very clear. Vote bank politics only. The moment there is no Muslim vote bank, they will just dump them. But there are few similarities between these people. It's according to me, it's my theory. Maybe others may not agree. Both are anti-Hindu and both are anti-nationals. Both these parties never approve Indian constitution. They are totally against the Indian identity, Bharatiya identity. They are against our culture also. So these are the common grounds. Regarding CPM, if any of the participants who are familiar with history, they may know. In 1957, Kerala was the first place where Communist Party came to power through ballot, through election. You know, the first chief minister, EMS Namboodiripad, he openly said that we are forced to work under a constitution which we don't like, but we are forced to. That was his this thing. You must have heard about V.S. Achyutanandan. He was another CPM chief minister. You know, he faced the party action. Action against him was taken by the party, some sort of punishment. You know why? Because he went to a blood donation camp during 1962 war. He wanted to donate blood to Indian Army. Why did you do so? That was the question. We are not supposed to take sides in Indo-Chinese war. And EMS Namboodiripad even said this war is happening because for a territory which Indians claim to be their own and Chinese claim to be their own. This was the stand taken by EMS Namboodiripad. Even in this year, the current CPM State Secretary, Mr. Kodiyeri Balakrishnan, he openly said in a press conference, he said that, see, China is a very good country and all other nations are together in attacking China. They are trying to attack China and isolate China in international forum. He said, this man who is running the party, he says. So they don't have these nationalist feelings. So it is very easy for them to try their luck with somebody like jihadis. Jihadis, they very well know what Communist Party is made of, why they are with us, why they are supporting us, why they are giving us political patronage and all. They know very well. It's only because of the vote bank. But they know how to utilize these people. They know very well. They are well trained for that. And let me also add one thing. This, for the first time in Kerala's political history, this left front came to power for another term, consecutive term. It is only because of this extremist support. Because people who have studied the constituencies and the voting pattern, we have found that some 30 constituencies where CPM had very thin margin of hope to win. In those places, these PFI elements supported Communist Party. They went out openly to campaign for these people and made sure that these people got into. So the second term of Pinarayi Vijayan actually owes to PFI. So they won't take any action against these people because they know very well that their existence is based on them. Next time they can, they can take an opposite stand also. So it is very clear. So it's very convenient for both of them. They are opposed to the Hindu identity. They are opposed to nationalist ideas. And they are opposed to our culture also. I mean, they don't like anything connected with our culture, as you have seen in Shabarimala issue and all. And during Shabarimala, this CPM, they had organized a few protest march. Ladies in hijab, they came out in protest. They said women, they came out in women's, I mean, you can imagine, lady fully covered, only eyes shown out. They are demanding justice for women in Shabarimala. That was the situation here. How pathetic it is. So it's very amusing at times.
Yeah, the irony is also very glaring when, having taken out all these anti-Hindu moves, still they remain the biggest Hindu party or organization for that matter. And
not only that, Priyaji, there is another aspect also. Kerala Hindus, technically they are majority. I am not sure whether actually they are majority because many people have converted to Christianity. People with those who come from very poor background, they have converted to Christianity. Many have converted to Islam also, but they keep their names and their religious status as Hindu because otherwise they won't get this caste reservation and other things. So basically, you really don't know whether Hindus are a majority or not. But one thing is there, caste system was very prominent in Kerala. Even today it is prominent, but people don't talk, but everyone has that feeling. I don't know whether 100 years back when Swami Vivekananda came here, he said Kerala is a mental asylum. Kerala is like a mental asylum because the caste system was very prominent and was very cruel also. It was coupled with a very bad zemindari system where people of lower caste, those who are called so-called lower caste, were treated very badly. So now people like PFI, they are trying to divide the Hindu society on those caste lines. The leftist, the so-called leftist writers, columnists and all, they always harp on this issue, how we were treated badly. So a Muslim, Muslim backward nexus or Muslim backward cooperation is the key to success. That is what they have been preaching here in Kerala for the last many years. It is one shot and two results. One is that they will get what they want. Second is they can divide the Hindu society. So they've always harped on this Brahminical hegemony and all. That is with this purpose. Actually, Brahmins are very, I mean, it's a very, very small community in Kerala. You don't need to even mention them. They don't have any political power or political prominence in Kerala. But you always harp on this because they want to divide the Hindu society. And the CPM, they have the basic supporters of them are Irava community. Irava community is supposedly a backward community, but very strong, powerful, and good in numbers also. I mean, the largest Hindu community. So this is one community where the PFI is also trying to infiltrate very badly. Most of the girls who were taken out of their homes and converted, they are from Irava community. So that is another, development happening in the background. But these things are not never discussed or not, seen in public domain.
Right. Having gone 100 years back and given that they harp upon the caste issue, isn't that also the timeline of the Mopla massacre, for instance? And there it is always told that it is because the majority community took away the job, something similar to what you hear with the same Kashmir genocide. So
not at all. I mean, that is one success story which I want to share with you this evening.
Right.
We have successfully demolished that, that narrative. So actually, they only started this. They wanted to create a film on one of the heroes, so-called heroes of Mopla massacre, Mopla rebellion, and Varian Kundan Ahmad Haji. He was a person. So he was made out to be a very strong and leader who fought for the motherland against the British. There was nothing like that. So a film was, they were trying to make a film, and there was a huge uproar. And then the Hindu organizations, they came together, and we had a series of seminars, we had a series of programs, discussions, and everything. So now I think that narrative has been successfully demolished. And there is a film coming up in Malayalam, a feature film that shows the real face of Mopla massacre. Mopla massacre was actually, it was Mahatma Gandhi's another one of the foolishness. He thought that, okay, this Khilafat movement, if it comes along with our Congress movement, it would be great. It would be, let the Muslim and Hindu unite or something like that, some notion like that. But Khilafat movement was from the beginning only for Muslim community. It was for the Khalifa of Turkey. It was for Khalifa of Turkey, and it was only a Muslim movement. And you can very well say that Hindus, it was nothing like Kashmir, where okay, you can say Kashmiri Pandits are, they are all educated, they were all in upper strata of society, they were having good jobs, vacation homes and all. But here, the Hindus who were massacred were peasants. They were massacred. Oh, of course, a few zamindars were killed, but they were massacred only because they refused to convert. They refused to convert. And we now have marked a few places where Hindus were massacred and their bodies were dumped. So that narrative has been successfully demolished, but that is just one of the aspects. And let me also tell you, since we are talking about films, that is also one area where they have succeeded tremendously, because Middle East money is there. So they are making films. They have infiltrated into these kind of cultural domains also, like films, like plays, like writings, publishing, media. So they have created a narrative that Muslim, of course, always a victim, always a very nice person, always caring, always going out to help a friend. Without thinking about the other person's religion. But Hindu is always painted as a villain nowadays. So that is one area where we need to focus now. There are a lot of films where Muslims are projected that way. It's a purposely done. And very prominent actors are also part of this mafia. I don't want to name them, but they are also part of this gang. I think
Right.
I
Yeah, I
answered
think
your
that's a
question. Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, that's a common thread, isn't it? Movies across India, we see
Across India.
nowadays that it's a common thread. Um, okay, a little bit about the resistance to to these kind of things. So just for us to know also as what kind of organizations or who are actually resisting these kind of let's say jihads that is taking place, so that we also know whom to support. uh,
Basically, I would say the RSS and Sangha Parivar organizations are, it is their tremendous work, or I would say many people have sacrificed their lives for this thing. Many have become martyrs or victims of jihadis. But without RSS, you can't imagine. Things would have changed uh, much earlier. So in 1982, there was a Vishala Hindu Sammelan. Vishala Hindu Sammelan, you understand. So that was a turning point. And after that, then in 1983, there was a big protest in Shabarimala regarding Nilekkel. Uh, I don't know how many of you know that. Shabarimala, the recent issue is the latest one. There was another issue in 1983. Nilekkel. It was just very near to Shabarimala temple, where a church was to be established. They said Saint Thomas had come to Nilekkel and he had established a church there. And there was a cross which was found. The cross was supposedly 2000 years old, which was not. Actually, it was later it was found. It was only 1 or 1.5 years old and was made to look like it was very old. So that kind of narrative was there, and there was a big agitation by Hindus. Because one thing, let me tell you, anything connected to Shabarimala will make the public stand up in protest. That is where Pinarayi Vijayan also was shocked, because most of the people who came out in street in the last Shabarimala agitation, they were communist sympathizers also. I know few communist leaders who are friends with me who told me we never expected this kind of public outrage. We thought that, okay, RSS will come out in protest, maybe Congress will come out in protest, but we never expected this. So from 1982, 83, after this Nilekal agitation, they withdrew finally. Hindus won the case and they withdrew. And so after that, there have been organizational work here. But the problem is that, the other side, it is growing at a very fast pace and they are amassing wealth like anything. And, Hindus, economically, they are backward and they are divided on caste lines. So things are very difficult. But at least let me tell you, today in Kerala, even if it is a small incident, there is always a resistance and always public outcry. That much we are ensuring. But media always, the media never supports or doesn't give prominence. Those kind of issues are there. But there is opposition and resistance to any act of that kind.
Right. So I'll finish with one last question and then open it to the audience to ask you more questions. So my final question is, you now having a successfully growing TV network, how would you rate the freedom of press in Kerala for alternative narratives to come out? So
very difficult, madam, because they are trying to. We always get threatening calls and other things from jihadis. That is one thing, but that's not the only thing. the establishment is also totally against us. They try to, there are only, I don't think there is any other nationalist individual or independent digital platform like mine. Because other two platforms, there is a satellite channel, Janam TV, of which I was founder CEO. And there is a Janmabhoomi newspaper, and there are publications connected with the Janmabhoomi and other people. They all have this RSS backing. There is an organization to back them. But altogether, we are facing a lot of trouble. They are trying to suppress our voice. And naturally, this is not applicable to the other side. It's not applicable to the other side. So, and we have an organization also, Kerala Union of Working Journalists and all. So, I mean, I'm also a member of that organization, but we don't have voice. We are always isolated in all these platforms because of our ideological affiliation. I mean, I'm one of the senior most journalists in Kerala. I'm a member of Press Club also. I'm a member of union also, but it's very difficult, but you have to carry on with this.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
There is no other way. Somebody has to do this, you know. Somebody has to really do this. At least our next generation, I should ensure that my next generation lives in Kerala as proud Hindus. Namaste.
I have lots of namaste. I have very lots of questions on this mind because this is a very favorite subject to me. Very big questions, slightly unconnected maybe, but overall connected. Personally, I'm a dead against person on Gandhi. Excuse me, because of his bad policies, we are still in trouble. I mean Mahatma Gandhi, not Indira Gandhi. There are few things I want to ask. Then you can answer me. As per Subramanian Swami's statement, wherever Muslim has entered into, they slowly captured that area. Like take the case of Iran, Iraq, which was Zion, they Zoros and Zion, they converted into 100% within 18 years. There are three policies where the government is not stable, keep on bugging them, keep on demanding them. Don't give and demand. No, never lead. Even a small problem, they will solve. Where the government, Muslims are majority, don't give any raise to other communities. Where the government is very powerful, keep quiet. Like Russia, Australia, a few countries, France now. Okay. They followed the same thing in India also. Unfortunately, Congress was sidelining with them. As far as you say, still a major question of Hindus are there. Why they still believe CPM in Kerala? Other than CPM in Kerala, no other state CPM is prominent now. Even out of the 4 or 5 MPs they have, only one is from Kerala and the 4 is courtesy from Stalin. They are not won anywhere. How would they really gain? Number one, the related question. There was 1 or 2 years back, there was a comment made by the head, Mecca Medina, head of the head. He said, we don't consider anybody as a Muslim other than who are from Arab nation. And he made a comment, others are copies. This is one. Second, related question. Most of the converted Hindus to Muslims, how they get this feel and fight for it? When they are Hindus, they are not united. When they go, they fight for it very much. Where does this immediate changes coming in them? I have a huge number of questions. I will stop here.
Sir, I am a journalist and I can comment on what is happening now, political issues and all. But once you become a Muslim, how you become aggressive, that is not something which I can answer because I am not a Muslim, but I am aggressive. That is one. But what I feel is that, Islam is not like any other religion. It is a total package. You have everything in it. You have economics, you have politics, you have business, you have religion, and it is a total package. You don't have to look anywhere else. You just enter it and you have everything for it. I mean, in their own way. And they brainwash people with such. There is one organization in Trivandrum which I wanted to mention before. I can give Priyaji their contact number and all. They have at least 16 or 17 girls who were reconverted. Ghar wapasi kar diya. There is one Acharya Manoj who is running that organization. Last month there was a program there. I was one of the speakers. So I went there. So these girls, they are telling you how they brainwash people. It's black and white. You work here for Islam, you work here for Allah, or aapko jo milna hai, Jannat mein milenge. They are not bothered about this world. They are only bothered about the other world. So they are not afraid to die also. That is a very dangerous situation. So that way they are mentally, they are brainwashed. Brainwash is a very small term for this kind of this thing. Those who go to madrasa, they will tell you how people are brainwashed at a very, very young age. This is one issue where madrasa training has to be stopped. Madrasa training, the curriculum for madrasas, even if they want to continue, has to be changed from the scratches. So they become aggressive because this is what I am saying is that they are a total package. So you don't have to look anywhere else. But if you want to remain in that pack, and if you want to remain as a Muslim, you always need an enemy. You need an enemy. So, that is how we are taught about our Upanishads, Vedas, how Loga Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu is the best concept and all. But for them, infidels are the focus. It was Christians and Jews in the beginning. Now it is all Hindus also come in that. So their way of thought is like that. That is why my interaction with some of them, I always felt that it's not because of aggressiveness alone. And you were asking about new converts. The seal of every convert is to prove him more loyal than the king himself. So in Kerala, you have many Muslims who are much more aggressive. Neo-Muslims who are much more aggressive than the real Muslims. So that is one way of proving that we are more loyal and other things.
Sorry, so that is one more time. Apart from UP, RSS is much stronger in Kerala. Why they are not able to establish that link, or why BJP is unable to grow? Number one. Number two, Hindus, why still they silent with CPM? At least why not with the BJP, or at least to some extent Congress? Congress is not that harmful as CPM. This is my perception. I may be wrong. Number three.
Yeah.
Tell me. You can. Tell me.
No, it has a historical background also. Let me tell you, as I was mentioning while answering Priyaji's question, Kerala had a worst kind of zamindari system. Kerala had a worst kind of caste system. So in the early 1920s, 30s and all, a social reformation was essential. So we had, reformists like Sri Narayana Guru, we had Chattambi Swami, we had people like Ayyankali. All these three were Hindus only. They represented caste, but they were actual Advaitis. They were Hindus. So they made a lot of changes in the society. They create, it was sort of, revolution, social revolution. But unfortunately, in the early 50s, the result of these revolutions and the result of these social changes, it was hijacked by the Communist Party. And they came to power in 1957. Now, they even claim that the land reforms, the ending of Zamindari system, the ending of caste-related cruelties, it was all our achievements. They were nowhere there at that time. It was people like Srinarayana Guru and Chattabhi Swamigal and Ayyankali who spearheaded that revolution. But these people were the right people at the right time. So they hijacked the reforms. Now, the second thing, they got ample time to, create system, an ecosystem. Now, I always tell my friends, never ever think that CPM will go away in Kerala. It will not, because they have a ecosystem around them now. They are everywhere, in government jobs, in police, in social work, in women's related. You take any this thing, they are there. They have created hundreds, thousands, lakhs of families are living. Their livelihood is being provided by the party, or situation jobs created by the party. Even during this current government, they are putting people in different departments. They take people on contract with much more salary than the government servants serving in that department. And after 10 or 15 years or even 5 years, all these contract employees are made permanent. Immediately, they will create a union of contract employees and they will become government servants. So this backdoor entry is a norm now. So that way, they have created a section of society who are totally with them. Even if the leaders are corrupt, you know about CPM in Kerala and the current controversies going on. So they are one of the more wealthiest people in the country. But all these people will only vote for them because there is a there is an ecosystem, support system.
Why BJP government is not taking any action to control?
BJP, I am not able to comment on BJP government, what they are doing, but you were asking about Kerala BJP. You were asking about
even central government also. Why they are not controlling?
I really don't know.
I saw one video. There's a prime minister available in somewhere in the Wayanad area. Everything they make parade. Everything I saw that. Is it true or not? I don't know. They have Pakistan flag like that.
Yeah. It was not Pakistan flag actually. It was Indian Union Muslim League flag. That was a wrong misinterpretation. It was not Pakistan flag. It was Indian Union Muslim League flag. And Indian Union Muslim League is an ally of Congress. So when Rahul Gandhi comes to Wayanad, Muslim League is also there always. Actually, they are now running the show on behalf of Congress. That is one thing. And you were asking about why central government is not taking any action. That I am also not able to answer. Maybe it is not their priority as yet. But we are all worried about that, because if you remember, when Narendra Modi came to power in 2014, in his first speech in front of BJP headquarters, he made a small speech right in front of the headquarters on the pavement itself. So he mentioned about Kerala. He said hundreds of youngsters were killed in Kerala for supporting the party or as workers. So we should remember their sacrifice. Then all of us thought that, okay, Kerala is a priority and will remain a priority. But maybe political reasons, I don't know. One feeling I have is that there could be, I'm not saying, but there could be BJP leaders who think that if CPM is gone or goes out of power, then Congress will make a comeback, because BJP organization has no, they are not strong enough to make a political this thing as yet. But if CPM goes out, it is Congress which is going to fill that void. And at national level, BJP leaders can't even think of a scenario where Congress is coming back to power in any state. So that could be one reason. I mean, no other
Thanks a lot, sir.
Logical explanation I can give that of.
Rajeshji, also you were mentioning about the Garvapsi, right? I think the organization's name is Arsha Vidya Samaj. Is that the
Arsha
one?
Vidya Samaja.
Yeah,
I could not immediately remember that name. It's
Arsha,
Arsha Vidya Samaj.
yeah.
Arsha Samajam or something like that. Arsha,
Arsha Vidya Samajam.
something like that.
It is run by one Acharya Manojji.
One is the religious impact of Amma, Hindu Amma. There's a, what is her name? Full name, I don't know. She runs
Mata Amritanandamayi Devi.
Amritanandamaya. One, number one. Why Shankaracharya, hailing from Kaladi, is not making, the Shankaracharya's this thing in a big way like in other parts of India. Two. And the third one is in Karnataka. Lulu has made a big entry where the present BJP government has accepted 3,000 crore rupees investment. That's what I read in the newspaper. And my brother was in Muscat. He was there for about 25 years or so. He says Yusuf Ali, that Luluwala is a very big problem.
Yes.
So I don't know why BJP government has accepted his. Why couldn't they contact other, Ambani or someone and all that? And what he says is, all Muslim boys are from Kerala, and all girls employees will be from Hindu other societies, and there will be a galore of love jihad. So would you kindly comment on these 3 points?
Yeah. The second point I didn't get actually. Second point.
Why Hindus they're not, recently Shankaracharya birthday was celebrated. But I didn't read anything from Kerala people, Hindus of Kerala. I had a couple of years ago, I had driven from Mangalore right up to Kanyakumari and back. And passed through Kaladi also. But I didn't see much of an impact or influence of Shankara being hailing from their own their own country.
I'll try to answer, sir. The first question you asked is a beautiful one because regarding Mata Amritanandamayi. I'm not a devotee of any ashram, but let me tell you one thing. She has done a tremendous work here because without her, the coastal area, that is one thing which all of you should hear. Many people don't talk about that. The coastal area of Kerala is very, security-wise, it's very important. Coastal area. A lot of things happen on coastal belt. So even the Marad killings of 2002, where Hindu fishermen were killed in the night, 8 Hindu fishermen were killed. It was part of an attempt to, Hindus, sending Hindus away from the coastal belt, ousting Hindus away from the coastal belt. All other areas except this Mata Amritanandamayi's Kollam district and Marad beach, those area, and some parts of Kasaragod, all other areas, coastal belt is dominated by Muslim population. So this was one area where Hindus were prominent and Marad killings happened there. Now coming back to Mata Amritanandamayi, without her, a large number of Hindus, especially from the so-called lower caste, would have converted by now. That is for sure. Because she has created such an impact, because at least she is keeping folks together, especially people from the backward, so-called backward communities. I'm not talking about the upper caste and other people. They are also coming in large numbers to her, but I'm not bothered about them. I'm bothered about the backward communities because they are the actual backbone of our Hindu society in Kerala, especially Eezhava community, which I was talking. They are communist-leaning community, and if that community becomes a bit nationalist, then BJP has a future in Kerala, or they have some hope. That is one thing. So regarding Mata Amritanandamayi, hats off to her, because without her, there would have been lots and lots of conversion happening in Kerala. And she is very particular about that. She is, as a spiritual person, I am no one to comment, but as a social being, She is well aware of what is happening in Kerala, what we are facing in Kerala, and how these things have to be solved. She always talks about that. Whenever people from RSS or such Hindu organizations visit her, she's very, very clear about an action plan and other things. Now, you were asking about Shankaracharya. There is a communist influencer. We have even a Adi Shankaracharya university named after Adi Shankaracharya. For the last many years, there have been attempts to install a statue of Adi Shankaracharya in that university, which was not allowed. Can you imagine? The name is Adi Shankaracharya University, but you can't have a statue. But now a small statue has been installed, but the plan was to have a big statue in the entrance and all, which never happened. So Shankara celebrations are happening in Kerala, but only by Hindu organization. There is no large scale celebrations, and no one projects. You won't find many Keralites who are taking pride about Shankaracharya, or Shankaracharya is never an icon for these people in Kerala. So that is very, very natural. See, communist people, communists, wherever they go, they want to negate that, they want to nullify the cultural roots of that country or those people. It has happened in China, and it has happened in Russia also. But in Second World War, as you may know, even the communist leaders had to invoke that Russian identity to inspire the forces to take on the enemy. That is one thing. But otherwise, they don't have that nationalist feeling. That is what I was trying to tell everyone. They want to detach from that nationalist identity, and it's an utopian sort of thing. So these things are happening.
Yusuf Ali, Lulu. Last.
Yeah, Yusuf Ali. So let me tell you one thing. Yusuf Ali is now very close to BJP leaders also. You can't deny that. So I'm not surprised. Basically, Yusuf Ali, you cannot call him an industrialist, He's a businessman, glorified businessman. And the money that he handles are not his own. Of course, he gets money. He gets money from different people. He uses that, and that is how his empire grows. So everyone is with him. He is with everyone also. He will go with PFI, and he will go with the BJP also. That is one. And the second thing you asked, that could be exaggerated, that Hindu girls and Muslim boys and all. But a few things. One thing, let me tell you, there was a PFI protest march after some arrests were made, and thousands, around 1,000 youngsters gathered in Ernakulam at midnight, just half an hour notice. And many people later reported that most of these youngsters were Yusuf Ali's, Lulu Mall staff. You understand? For a protest march at midnight, 1,000, almost 1,000 people gathered there. So most of them were supposedly Lulu Mall guys. So that way, what you said could be right, but you can't substantiate.
Namaskaram, sir. This is Prasanna here. Sir, my question is around the basics or the fundamentals about, the conversion. It's very surprising to see, there was this caste system in Hinduism where, there was upper caste, lower caste and things like that. So people converted. The other thing was for financial security, people converted. And in Kerala, having CPM, the very basic concept of socialist approach is to ensure that the gap between the rich and poor is to be very minimal. Now, what we find is none of these three objectives are actually being met. Yeah, neither the caste system has gone away in Christianity or in Islamism. Yeah, nor that, their financial stability has been assured, right? And the rich becomes richer, just like capitalistic economy. So the socialistic economy doesn't actually exist anymore, not even in China typically. So what still is the motivation for people to convert from Hinduism? Why people leave their roots of what they are, even if they are not feeling proud about it, so be it. But then what makes them to spit at the Hinduism and move forward? What could be the objective? And the continuing question is that how we can bring them back? What possibilities you see in bringing them back to this roots? So these are my questions.
Yes, madam. One thing, let me tell you, in Kerala, maybe in other parts of the of India also, all these people who target Hindus to convert them, they want to make youngsters, especially youngsters, I am talking, youngsters feel apologetic, be an apologetic, be a inferior Hindu. These are the two things which they always harp on you. What you said is about economic background, economic issues, other things and all. That happened some years back. But now those who are converting are youngsters, young professionals, educated people. Why this is happening? There are two things according to me. That could not be the, may not be the full answer, but there are two things. One thing, your spiritual vessel is completely empty. You people are not taught in your homes about your culture, about your religion. I have personal experiences. I have asked with a few people, what are the four Upanishads of, those are the pillars of Hinduism. There are people, you won't believe, youngsters, engineering students and all. There are people who answered it is Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana and all. So what kind of information? Don't even teach them. At least give them some information about your culture, about the basic tenets of Hinduism, what it is about, how we practice it, how you can be a good Hindu or something like that. The essence, at least, you never give them. Hindus never give them. You can go to temple, you can stop going to temple, no problem. But Semitic religions are not like that. They demand it from you. Every Sunday you have to go to the church and you have to attend the Sunday mass and Sunday school also. If you are going to get married, you have to attend premarital classes. Once you marry, postmarital classes. When you are the lady is pregnant, then there are classes for that. So it happens in Muslim community also. What do you have for Hindus? Then how can we say, how can we expect our youngsters not to get attracted to the other side? Now the second part is actually more dangerous. We have made a survey. We had some study. Most of the girls who were victims of love jihad or conversion are from unstable families, where the parents are, you have a single parent or you have a lot of issues at home. You don't like going back to home. You are not very open with your parents. Girls like that were the most of them, maybe you can say 90% of them. I don't know how much you know about, there's a girl called Nimisha Fatima. Nimisha is now, was one of the girls who was a dental surgeon. She was studying to be a dental surgeon and she was converted by another person, and she actually fell in love with a Muslim doctor, and that doctor, he left her after some time. Then another rescuer came. People come on white horse and this fairy tales. So another person came. That man, he converted her, and now she is in Syria. Her husband died, and she was with ISS for a long time, and she has one or two kids also. So that is her story. She comes from a very good family. If you have heard about Attugal temple, Attugal, there is a Pongala festival. It's one of the largest largest women congregation in the world, Pongala festival. You must have heard about that. So that happens in a temple in Trivandrum. And this girl belongs to the family that administers this temple. Can you imagine? So there is something basically wrong with that. And these two factors coupled with organized effort to lure away our children. My daughter, I have a personal experience to tell you. My daughter she's an architect. She was studying in a college, a professional college here in Trivandrum. So then one day when all of them were sitting together, one boy, a Muslim boy, he suddenly asks, hey, so that day it was Ganesha Chaturthi, Ganesh Puja was happening. So he was asking, hey, you people, why are you worshipping such a god, god with elephant head, big tummy and all? What sort of creature is that? Is it some satanic worship or something? That is what he asked. Okay. So, I mean, I mean, my daughter is a bit aggressive, so she stood up and, blasted that fellow. But what I'm saying is that if she was not there, what will happen? Let me tell you. There is something called peer pressure. So half of them will say, oh, we also don't believe in all this. We know it is all foolishness, because you want to be in his good books. We also don't believe in. And the other half may even cross over. So this is happening. So it is not economic issues or casteist issues like before. It was there. We had a very weird caste system in Kerala. You have to read about that then to believe, because I am a Hindu. I belong to a backward community. I cannot enter a upper caste communities. I mean, even you can't enter his premises. But if I go to a local madrasa and I become a Muslim, next day I can sit with that zamindar along with him at an equal level. So actually, those who have not converted, you should actually do pranams to them, because despite all these discrepancies, they remained, and none of them had the permission to enter a temple. Only Nair community and Brahmins were allowed to enter temples. No other backward community. And Eedava community, which I was talking about, they are the largest Hindu community in Kerala, and they were not given permission to enter temple. So these are historical things. But the current, the challenge that we are facing is because of our own weakness. Our spiritual vessel is empty. Anyone can pour anything into that. But for them, it is not like that. For them, it is not like that. You could be a communist guy, you could be a congressman, you could be an activist, environmentalist, whatever you are a Muslim first. And you know what are the basic ideas of Islam. You can argue with anyone. But for our people, it doesn't happen that way. Since I was talking about IS, Islamic State, I just want to mention that Kerala is one place from where maximum number of people have gone to Syria and joined IS. Not only IS, you name any international terror organization, a Malayali will be there. Whether it is Al-Qaeda, Al-Nusra, organizations like have Malayali presence. And even the recent bomb attacks in Kabul, Afghanistan, Gurudwara, a Malayali was the suicide bomber. Can you believe it? So, and all these people are inspired by PFI. And the first one who went some 10, 15 years back, his name was Abu Tahir. He was a journalist working for a PFI related newspaper. So, I mean, I just want you people to understand the grave situation. It's an international thing now. It's not just limited to a small state like Kerala. The Malayali presence is everywhere. Even in 2008, there was a fight between the armed forces and terrorists in Kashmir Valley, Kashmir. And actually, you won't believe, 4 militants killed by security forces that day were Malayalis. It has not come out much. It is there. It is. You can check on internet and all. 4 of them. So it was for the first time that a militant who is from another Indian state was killed in Kashmir. And that credit also goes to Kerala.
Yeah, it's really amazing and scary,
shocking.
and how much we also don't hear. Huh? So
these things are never discussed.
Yeah, I have Hemanji's question, although we are not able to hear him. So his question was, what are 3 actionable items an average Hindu sympathizer should work on?
Strengthening the Hindu society. As I said, Hindus may be technically a majority in Kerala, but politically, socially, economically, Hindu society is very weak in Kerala. So it's a very, very unique situation, you know. Every political party in Kerala needs Hindu vote, because Hindus have to vote for them to come to power or whatever it is. But you don't have a Hindu vote bank. There is no Hindu vote bank. Hindus vote, to summarize it, it is just like this. In Kerala, Christians and Muslims, they vote according to their religious dictates or stand, whereas Hindus vote on political leanings. So this is happening. So without political power, the economic enforcement or social this thing, that doesn't come easily. The Hindu society has to get organized, has to empower itself economically, socially, even media. We didn't discuss about the 2047. If you can kindly go through the internet, you will find there is something called Project 2047. They have listed each and every sphere of society: education, media, culture, religion, development. All these have been listed out, and how to empower Muslims for this. That is Project 2047. But we don't have any kind of, basically we are always defensive in Kerala. So basically what we need to do is empower the society, empower the society, empower the society, nothing else, no shortcuts.
That was, there was a film director who did Ghar Wapsi. Was it a flash in the pan, or has it made any impact on the society in Kerala?
Sir, the thing is that whoever talks about Hindus or whoever talks about Hindu rights or whoever is a pro-Hindu is ridiculed, isolated, and is made, is made into a fool or some. There is a system like that. So you are talking about this person who has made this film on Mopla riots. His name is Ramasimhan Abu Bakr. Okay. He is. These people, they describe him as a comic character who doesn't know how to make films, who is not a good director, and he has been completely isolated in film among the film fraternity also. But that man is fearless. He is not bothered about all these things. and he is going ahead with his mission. Whether it has made any impact in Kerala, zero impact. For him, it is good. But he has not made any impact. But now we are waiting to see how his film makes some impact. Hopefully, it may make, because anyway, that Mapula rebellion was part of Indian independence struggle. That case is gone. That notion has been dismantled. But now, if this man's film comes out well, if it is professionally made, maybe it can create some impact, but otherwise nothing.